Listen, but let's be real. Neko Umage, Naka might be a damn op as well. You've got Satu, who's been pro Caitlin Clark and pro Fever fans. You got Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen. Like, I don't know if there's any relationship between Caitlin and Kiki, but all I gotta say is I cannot believe these teams are absolutely hilarious. The team's hilarious. And not only that, she traded her coach.
An interesting situation has emerged regarding Caitlin Clark's all-star team selections, revealing what appears to be a strategic approach to roster construction. The Indiana Fever star has assembled a squad that seems carefully curated based on personal relationships and past interactions. Clark's selection process appears to have prioritized players with whom she has established positive connections. The roster includes individuals she has previously competed alongside, such as Sonia Citron, while notably excluding anyone who has publicly criticized her performance or made disparaging comments through social media or traditional media outlets. This approach has resulted in what many observers are calling a friendly lineup.
Her coach. So, she was originally meant to play for Cheryl Reeve. You guys don't know who Cheryl Reeve? She was the Team USA coach who basically has said a bunch of negative things on social media about Caitlin Clark, who had like a bad write-up in Christine Brennan's book, then deleted all the tweets and she deleted a bunch of tweets, said the tweets never existed in the first place. And basically,
Gabby Williams represents another example of this pattern, as she has maintained a neutral to positive stance regarding Clark throughout the season. The selection strategy seems to have systematically avoided individuals who might be considered adversaries or critics, with one notable exception being Aja Wilson. Wilson's inclusion appears to be based purely on talent considerations, as her skill level makes her an unavoidable choice despite any potential tensions. Players like Nico Mendy might also fall into a questionable category regarding their relationship with Clark. Though this remains speculative, the roster also features Satu Sabali, who has consistently supported Clark and expressed appreciation for the new fan base she has brought to women's basketball. Sonia Citron's inclusion makes sense given their shared history on Team USA, while Kelsey Mitchell's presence reflects their current teammate status.
Basically, yeah, basically is now saying Christine Brennan is a liar. And by the way, I would fully believe that Christine Brennan has exaggerated things. But at the end of the day, does that really matter? Does that really matter? Truth is truth. Slightly exaggerated truth is still not a lie.
The selection of Kiki Herbert Harrigan raises questions about any existing relationship between her and Clark, though the specific nature of their connection remains unclear. What stands out most dramatically is the complete absence of any player who has publicly expressed negative opinions about Clark's impact on the league or her individual performance. Perhaps the most surprising development involves the coaching situation. Clark was originally scheduled to play under Cheryl Reeve, the Team USA coach who has been linked to various controversial statements regarding Clark on social media platforms. Reeve's social media activity included posts that were later deleted, followed by claims that such posts never existed. This situation became more complicated when author Christine Brennan referenced these incidents in her publication, leading to disputes about the accuracy of the reporting.
Not a full lie anyway, but you've now got obviously Team Caitlin Clark with 3 of the players from the Fever. But I cannot believe she traded the coach. Anyone who is a quote-unquote op, she did not pick. And again, I'm not out here being out there saying that as if that's something that really comes in. You know what?
The coaching controversy escalated when Reeve denied the existence of the deleted social media posts and suggested that Brennan had fabricated or exaggerated the incidents. While the truth of these claims remains debated, the situation clearly created tension between Clark and her potential coach. The resolution came through an unprecedented coach exchange, allowing Clark to avoid playing under Reeve's guidance. Clark's new coach will be Sandy Brondello, a change that appears to satisfy both parties involved. This coaching swap represents represents an unusual occurrence in All-Star Game history, demonstrating the level of influence star players can wield in these exhibition events. The timing of the coaching assignments created this opportunity, as different standings at various points in the season would have resulted in different coaching matchups.
You know what? Let's be real. She took none of them. She took none of them. She took nobody that said a bad thing about Caitlin Clark in public, or like in the public. She took none of them. So, I mean, like, she took none of them. Like, this is her team. She traded the coach. She has, obviously, Aja, because Aja's Aja. Look, let's be honest, you're taking Aja Wilson. Took her teammate.
Interestingly, if the coaching assignments had been determined at a different time, Nate Tibbetts of the Phoenix Mercury might have been in consideration. Tibbetts' coaching philosophy emphasizes aggressive three-point shooting, which would have aligned well with Clark's playing style and preferences. The roster construction has created significant entertainment value, with 3 Indiana Fever players joining Clark on the same team. This concentration of teammates should provide natural chemistry and coordination during the exhibition game. The team composition suggests a focus on offensive firepower and perimeter shooting, which aligns with Clark's strengths and preferred style of play.
Look, her teammate, Sabrina, who's like the main player in the WNBA, that was like, basically, she was the one kind of veteran player that was close with Caitlin Clark in her rookie year. Because let's be real, nothing, the best thing that ever could have happened to Sabrina Ionescu was Caitlin Clark coming, because they stopped bullying Caitlin. They stopped bullying Sabrina, and then they took it all out on Caitlin. They took all the anger they had.
A notable moment occurred during the team announcement when Fisa Collier referred to Angel Reese using a particular nickname. Clark's reaction was notably stoic, maintaining a poker face while others around her seemed amused by the reference. This interaction highlighted the ongoing narrative surrounding different players and their public personas. Reese has successfully transformed what was initially considered a negative label into a positive identity marker, demonstrating her ability to control her own narrative and public image. This transformation shows significant maturity and marketing savvy, turning criticism into brand strength.
They took it all out on Caitlin. They took all the anger they had towards Sabrina out on Caitlin. And Caitlin was their bully, or Sabrina was their bully victim before Caitlin. You got Satu, who's been very, very pro Fever, very pro new fans, very pro all of that, because she, let's be real, Satu just wants her money. Aja Wilson, who, let's be real, ever since the whole shoe debacle, there hasn't been much said, and Caitlin's not dumb. You're not going to pass on Aja Wilson. Then off the bench, it is obviously Kelsey Mitchell, her teammate. Gabby Williams, who's a good fit and has not.
During the actual event, concerns arose when Aja Wilson appeared to suffer an injury, causing teammates and officials to gather around her. The situation created temporary worry about her availability for the game, though she ultimately returned to continue playing and appeared to recover fully from whatever discomfort she experienced. The All-Star Game promises to feature an entertaining style of play, with Clark's team likely to emphasize three-point shooting and fast-paced offense. The team composition suggests a preference for skilled perimeter players who can complement Clark's vision and passing ability while providing reliable shooting targets.
Mitchell, her teammate. Gabby Williams, who's a good fit and has not said a negative word about Caitlin Clark. You've got Sonia Citron, who's played with Caitlin Clark on Team USA's and won championships. Jackie Young, we love you, Jackie Young. Please come to Indiana in free agency next year. Please come to Indiana in free agency. Like, that would be a big thing. And in an unfortunate one for Caitlin Clark, Aja Wilson looks hurt right now. Aja Wilson looks hurt, which is not an ideal situation.
This entire situation demonstrates the evolving dynamics within women's professional basketball, where star players increasingly influence not just game outcomes, but also the structure and presentation of major events. The careful curation of teammates and coaching staff reflects a mature understanding of team chemistry and personal comfort levels in high-profile situations. The coaching change, in particular, represents a significant shift in how all-star events might be structured in the future, potentially giving star players more input into their exhibition experience. This precedent could influence how similar situations are handled in subsequent years, especially when personality conflicts or professional disagreements arise between players and potential coaches. The final roster composition creates an intriguing dynamic that should produce competitive and entertaining basketball while avoiding the interpersonal tensions that might detract from the celebratory nature of the All-Star weekend. The strategic approach to team building demonstrates sophisticated thinking about both on-court performance and off-court comfort levels. The ongoing collective bargaining agreement discussions between the WNBA and its Players Association are approaching a critical juncture. With the current deal set to expire on October 31st, tensions are escalating as both parties struggle to find common ground on compensation and revenue distribution. The situation appears increasingly precarious, raising questions about what salary expectations players realistically hold. There's speculation that some athletes may believe the recent media rights agreement will translate into individual earnings of $2 to $3 million annually, which seems unrealistic given the league's current financial structure. A modest salary increase appears more feasible, potentially moving from the current $249,000 to approximately $500,000 for most players. Some might reach $750,000, while perhaps 3 or 4 elite performers could achieve 7-figure contracts. However, such increases would require significant changes to league operations. The organization faces multiple structural challenges that need addressing. Roster expansion is necessary, but franchise owners must maintain profitability for the league's survival. Without sustainable business models, even star power cannot save the organization from collapse. Basic economic principles suggest that owners cannot continuously operate at losses while meeting player demand. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has taken a notably firm stance during negotiations, directly confronting players about their business understanding. Her approach represents a significant shift in league leadership, particularly when addressing what she perceives as unrealistic expectations from athletes. Several operational adjustments seem inevitable. The season may expand from 44 to 50 games, requiring schedule modifications and roster additions as new franchises join. A performance-based compensation system could benefit teams with higher attendance and merchandise sales, creating natural market incentives. Teams like Indiana Fever, drawing 16,000 fans nightly, demonstrate vastly different revenue potential compared to franchises averaging. Similarly, organizations in markets like Golden State, Las Vegas, and Portland are positioned for stronger financial performance, suggesting that uniform salary structures may not reflect market realities. The negotiation timeline reveals concerning delays. While the players' union claims to have submitted proposals in February, the league didn't consider them official until April. This disconnect suggests fundamental communication issues between the parties. The league's June response was characterized by union representatives as completely contrary to player proposals. Mercury forward Satu Sabali described it as insulting, while union officials expressed frustration with what they perceived as dismissive treatment. A significant complication involves union leadership having financial interests in competing leagues. Vice Presidents Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart co-own the unrivaled league, creating potential conflicts of interest despite different playing seasons. Revenue sharing remains the primary sticking point. Players resist any salary limitations tied to league growth, preferring uncapped compensation structures. This position conflicts with ownership's need for predictable costs and sustainable operations. The league's recent success metrics include record-breaking $250 million expansion fees and an 11-year, $2.2 billion media rights deal. These figures demonstrate growing popularity and commercial viability, but also highlight the concentration of interest around specific players. Viewership data reveals the challenge. Games featuring certain star players draw significantly higher audiences than others. One example shows a regular game attracting 600,000 viewers, while a contest featuring Caitlin Clark reached 2.1 million. This disparity influences ownership perspectives on compensation negotiations. The revenue-sharing debate centers on whether players should benefit proportionally from league growth. Union representatives argue that fixed salary caps would prevent athletes from sharing in increasing business success, while management seeks cost predictability. Alternative playing opportunities complicate the situation. International leagues offer competitive compensation, potentially attracting talent away from the WNBA. Some players could earn comparable or superior salaries overseas, particularly in markets like China where sponsorship opportunities are substantial. The specter of a work stoppage looms large. A lockout would be catastrophic for a league still building its audience and commercial foundation. Historical precedents show that labor disputes can devastate sports organizations, as seen with Major League Baseball's 1994 lockout, which required 5 years for recovery. The WNBA's current momentum depends on consistent play and star attraction. Any interruption could permanently damage growth trajectory and fan engagement. Unlike established leagues with deeper fan loyalty, the WNBA cannot afford extended interruption. Attendance and revenue disparities between franchises create additional complexity. NBA arenas consistently draw 15,000 to 20,000 fans with premium ticket pricing, while WNBA venues show dramatic variation. This fundamental difference affects revenue generation and compensation possibility. The negotiation outcome will determine whether the league can maintain its growth trajectory while satisfying player compensation demand. Both sides face pressure to reach agreement before the October deadline, but fundamental disagreements about revenue sharing and salary structures suggest difficult discussions ahead. The current situation represents a critical test for league leadership and player solidarity. Success requires balancing competitive compensation with sustainable business practices, while failure could derail the organization's recent progress and future prospects. The expectation was there from the beginning. Someone would eventually make a statement so absurd it would become impossible to defend. That moment arrived when an ESPN analyst declared the Indiana Fever performed better without Caitlin Clark. This comment, broadcast on national television, has proven to be spectacularly misguided. The controversy emerged when Caroline Peck stated that the Indiana Fever become more dangerous when Clark sits out games. This observation stemmed from watching the team secure victories in 2 consecutive contests while their star player remained sidelined. The logic appeared straightforward to some observers. Wins without Clark meant Clark might be hindering the team's success. However, the better without the star narrative appears regularly in professional sports when teams win games during a key player's absence. This lazy analysis ignores the long-term impact of losing elite talent while focusing exclusively on short-term results. Other WNBA stars like Aja Wilson and Breanna Stewart don't face similar scrutiny when their teams occasionally succeed without them. Clark's influence extends beyond on-court performance into broader league impact. Games featuring Clark generate higher television ratings than many playoff contests from previous seasons. Opposing arenas sell out when the Fever visit, and league revenue has increased significantly. These factors contribute to the WNBA's growing popularity and financial stability. The experimentation with different rotations doesn't necessarily indicate problems with Clark's fit. Team chemistry development and coaching adjustments represent normal parts of building a competitive roster. The removal of certain players who weren't contributing